Private schools are known to be very prestigious. Typically, if you go to a private school, that can either mean two things. You're either rich or you're really smart. Despite the reputation, most people say private schools are full of entitled, self-absorbed people. Others say it's worse than public school, but I personally think it just depends on the school itself, as I myself was sent to and graduated from a private school. Like, I've seen some private schools worse than public schools, but I've also seen some public schools being just as bad, if not worse. However, most private schools offer a wildly different experience. People go to private school for a bunch of different reasons. My reason was a bit different than others, in the sense that it wasn't exactly traditional, I guess you could say. In the 7th grade, I was in a school that was so terrible in terms of like actual education and the workload. Like, I kid you not, they were giving me more work than most people in med school. And that's saying something for someone who was in 7th grade. So, you know, obviously my grades fell behind a bit. I couldn't keep up with the workload because I had 8 different classes all giving me homework that was all due the next day. I don't know how the heck they expected anyone in that school to have a life outside of school, because they certainly did not. They're like, oh, but this is just gonna make the kids smarter. No, it's not. You're just making kids hate their lives and you make them want to. So yes, I was, you know, very depressed at the age of like 12 or 13. But, you know, this wasn't like the typical, oh my gosh, rebellious teenager depression. Oh my gosh, guys, it's just a phase. It's one thing to feel depressed. It's another thing when you're actively thinking about ways you're gonna carry it out. I feel like I didn't clarify this part enough. I wasn't depressed solely because of all the unnecessary work. I was depressed because it led to me not having a life or any other interest of anything outside of dreading the thought of coming home to more, why aren't you doing your work? I was trying my hardest, but even then, my hardest never seemed to be good enough for my parents because I was still getting bad grades. And that's all that mattered to them. They thought I was failing on purpose and not trying, when that couldn't have been further from the truth. So I thought, what was the point of even trying if I could give it my all and not even achieve the bare minimum? All of that just to be seen as the disappointment in the family. That's why I was depressed. So, you know, obviously that was a big problem. I got taken out of that school, and pretty much one of my cousins came by and was like, hey, I know you're looking for a school. What about this school? He showed me like this Christian private school that he was going to. Like, I know the whole thing with private school stuff. It's like, oh, they're all just rich and smart. You have to be rich and smart to go there. Well, I am neither of those. I'm neither rich nor am I smart. I mean, hey, you guys see the stuff that I put back there. It's not very intelligent. Pretty much, so I toured the school, giving them a tour. Now, I'm not gonna say the name of the school for very obvious reasons. And I honestly don't know how much it costed because I just went to the school. My parents paid for it. I didn't know any of that. I was just a student. But we went to the school and they were really nice. Like, way nicer than, you know, any other school staff. Because, you know, the typical thing with school staff is like, yeah, I hate my job. This is the school. Yeah, these kids all suck. Okay, bye. Please come to our school. That's basically how most schools are. But this one, anytime there was a tour, everyone was like super respectful. Even like the students, they wanted to get to know you. Ooh, new student. What? Someone else is gonna be in our class. That was a new experience for me. I had like never seen that from any other school before. Eventually, you know, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go to this school. And then began the private school experience. Some of you that have been watching my channel for a little bit, you've actually seen this school because that's where I graduated from. All that footage that I put in like life after high school or graduating stuff, that was from that school. I even still have the uniforms from the school from my time there, which they're gonna be blurred out for very obvious reasons. Now, what is private school like? Most of us, like most of you watching this video, are probably in public school. And you just kind of wonder, like, what would it be like in a private school? Is it just more strict, more work, more everything, less time for freedom? Yes and no at the same time. You see, my school was different in that sense, to where the homework situation was actually really nice. Instead of giving you homework and having it due the next day, they would give you homework and have it due the next week. So every week they would assign homework on like Wednesday, and it wouldn't be due to like the next Wednesday. It gave me time to do absolutely nothing before I decided to do the homework that night, the night before. But you know, of course you had uniforms and everything, but honestly they weren't that bad. The uniforms they had were actually like pretty comfortable, so I didn't mind wearing them every day. I'm gonna praise the school for this. Academically, if it wasn't for me being in that school, I would not have graduated with like a 3.5 GPA and AB honor roll. They did a good job of teaching stuff. Like, they just did a good job. Like, they had good teachers and everything. That's one thing I do have to praise them for. And I know that some of them might be watching this video, so I have to be careful about what I say. It's fine. I've been graduated for like 2 years. I was class of 23 if you're wondering. But there is another thing to private schools. My private school specifically was very tiny. I've said that in previous videos, but to the extent that I don't think many other people have really had the experience, this type of experience of school to where my entire school had only 200 kids. Now, I know a lot of other schools to where their senior class alone is double that. My school, on the other hand, my school was not just high school. My school was K through 12. We had kindergarten all the way up to senior year of high school. And we only had 200 kids. My class, my graduating class, as far as I know, was the largest graduating class that they had. And my graduating class was 20 students, including me. Now, that's cool and all. The thing with that is that everyone knows you, which is nice and all, because, you know, you get to know a lot of people. You get to know people on a deeper level. And even like a bunch of like the middle schoolers are like, yo, what up, high schoolers? It's so cool to see you guys. But then on the other hand, you have like an entirely different aspect of that to where since there weren't too many other people to socialize with, it was somewhat of a playful environment. So if you looked goofier than normal one day, then people were probably gonna point it out. Look at his face. Shh, it's okay. Teach Hanley is gonna give you that glow up you need. Why specifically Teach Hanley? Because they're the sponsor of today's video. Teach Hanley skincare systems are designed around routines, the same way you live your life. Simple and uncomplicated. They require just a few minutes in the morning and before bed, so you can stay focused on what matters to you most. Implementing a visually effective skincare routine will start boosting your confidence in every aspect of your life. Teach Hanley's performance-driven formulas address men's different needs, so you'll feel great about the way your skin looks and feels, whether you're starting a new job or going on your first date. Boom. I recommend starting with their level 1 system, which comes with all the essentials: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20, and a PM moisturizer. Oh, and to make it super simple for guys like us, because you know, I'm very dumb, as all of you know, they provide this little cheat sheet in every box telling you what to use and how to use it and in what order. Teach Hanley's got your back when it comes to skin, including acne. This is their acne clearing breakout busting routine called Teach Clear. It's a powerful system that gives you everything you need to win the fight against acne. But you know, that's not just me saying that, because you know, they have over 16,000 5-star reviews worldwide, and Teach Hanley thinks you'll agree, which is why they give you their handsome guarantee. If you like it, great, or if you don't, then you can get a full refund, no questions asked, so you don't lose anything. Now, if you use my link in the description, you can save up to 40% off your first box today, and you get a gift valued at $20. Plus, sign up as a member with my link down below, and you can get 20% off for life. And once again, thank you Teach Hanley for sponsoring this video. You couldn't really have beef with anyone, because if you had beef or drama with someone or with anyone at all, everyone would know about it. Literally everyone would know. Even the middle schoolers or possibly the kindergartners would know about like any sort of drama or anything going on. So it was in my best interest to stay on good terms with everyone. It's like if you didn't get along with your class, you were pretty much screwed, because you're basically the outcast now. Like you don't really have anyone else to get along with unless it's the other like sophomore or junior classes during lunchtime. But even then, that's about it. That led to also an entirely different aspect, is that your social life, if you didn't like people, you're screwed. That also went hand in hand with like your dating scene as well, because you know, a lot of high school relationships don't really make it out of high school, but it's something else when you combined having beef with someone with a very small school, very small class, then having a breakup with someone in that class. You know, it's just a recipe for disaster, especially if no one finds you attractive. Then yeah, you know, it's not a problem, but it also leaves you very alone, because now there's no one to date. There's no one. I literally thought I was like hideous. I was unlovable because no one found me attractive while I was in high school. It's weird because my dating life didn't start until after I graduated. That's when I started, you know, pulling people. I started getting play after that. Another thing is because my school was so small, we didn't really have a whole lot of funding for a lot of things. So in terms of like sports, we did not have many sports. Like my school did not have any weightlifting team, no baseball team. What we had like 3 sports. We had basketball, we had soccer, and then cross country. That was it. Like there was no track and field, no none of that. We didn't have that. And so a lot of the team would just comprise of a bunch of different age groups. So we would have 6th graders from middle school all the way up to seniors, like high schoolers, all in cross country. And I was a part of that. And even then, we didn't have cross country until I was a junior. So I was already in 11th grade. It was very competitive, but there were also like very clear favorites among the group as well. A lot of the school, what it valued was family. Because because everyone was very close together. It was a very small, tight-knit school. So a lot of people, you know, they would have their family members even become teachers as well. Of course, they would be certified to teach, but still, it was just kind of interesting sometimes in public school how, you know, the teacher will have one of their kids attend that school. But it's something else entirely when like maybe 3 or 4 of the teachers have kids as well that go to your school, even like in your class as well, especially if the classes are as small as they were. Like, I kid you not, they did not exceed 20 students. You had one class per grade. We had 20 seniors, then we had maybe like 15 juniors, 10, 11, or 13 sophomores as well. Like, there was not much room for, you know, socializing beyond your group. So if you didn't fit in there, you had to just go somewhere else. And so there was a lot of hidden stuff there that I did not like. That was, you know, a whole thing of private school. There was at one point where, thank goodness they abolished this rule now, but at one point when I first came to the school, there was a rule to where if you just didn't do your homework, you would get lunch detention. So you would have these completely innocent kids get put in with everyone else that's like, I'm gonna hurt you, I'm gonna touch you. I didn't even know that at the time. I got lunch detention. I was like, why am I in lunch detention? I didn't do anything wrong. Overall, I disagree with the whole school system and that whole system of school entirely, but I gotta give them credit where credit is due. This school, they tried their best. They definitely did a good job of teaching people. Like, I still remember some things from there, even though I'm never gonna use them at all ever in my life. They even knew this too. They taught it anyways because it was legally required, you know, in the state of Florida. You just have to. You literally have to teach it or else it's just illegal. But overall, the private school experience, is it better than public school? There were some times I wished I went to public school because socially I was quiet. Like, I didn't really have a social life in school. I was legitimately known as the quiet kid in school. I think that's what contributed a lot to me being a big introvert growing up. I've had to teach myself to get out of it, but even then I'm still an introvert at heart. So part of me wishes I could have went to public school like all my other friends now, because they all went to public school. They had all these memories, all these different field trips, all these different social groups, especially in public school. If you had beef with someone, you can just completely switch up and have a different friend group that next day. Whereas in my school, that was non-existent. You could not do that. So in some sense, public school was better, but in other senses, no. Like, academically, if I was in public school, I would not have graduated with the good grades that I had. But is it better? It depends. If you're looking for a social life, no. But if you're looking for academics, like grades, then sure, yeah, I guess it's better. But in the end, it's just school at the end of the day. It does not matter in the sense of once it's all done, once it's all over, you know, once we all graduate, once you graduate, if you're not graduated already, everyone is just gonna go their separate ways. You may not ever speak to any of these people ever again.